of the what. You ain't worried about none of that. Boy, they had some stuff for you that would just change the game. So with that being said, we got to go out here to Miss Fabulous Darlaina Rose. This young lady hails out here in Atlanta, exactly from Philly, but now she out there living her best life on purpose. You know, I gotta ask y'all one question, and then I'm gonna shut up so Darlaina can come up here. Do you have Darlaina? Me and you can have this conversation because y'all gonna bring her up. So Darlaina. All right, I open up your mic. So, Darlaina, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
I was looking at something today, and you know, there was a word. It was called obey. Obey. Obey, right?
Obey seasoning.
And no, obey.
Oh,
not. See,
you mean obey like listen to?
Obey.
Like listen
like
to.
obey.
Okay.
Listen.
All right. Gotcha. Okay.
Obey.
Okay.
So that was in the marriage vows, right? Obey.
Yeah. Okay.
I will obey my husband, right? Me, right?
Dr. Loretta, join the meeting.
So at the end of the day, Lynn told me she took the word out. She didn't want that word to be stated. She didn't feel like you wanted to obey. So how did you feel about like when I asked you a question, like when you feel you say obey, I want you to obey your husband. How does that feel?
I kind of ignore it. Doesn't give me any reaction, because obey to me, it may be something that you think, and as my husband, I may allow my husband to think that that's what's happening. Actually, in all actuality, you know, men are the head, but women are the neck. So we get to turn however we want that head to go. So we're going to let you think that we are doing that. And that's to keep the peace. So it's all good. So I don't have a reaction to the word obey anymore.
Okay, anymore. Okay, now here's another one. One more. Submit.
Same.
Okay. How do you feel about that now that you're married? At one point, did you feel like you wanted to submit at that time?
So submission is, when it comes to marriage and relationships, you know, it's a two-way street, really. You know, for the husband and the wife to do their part. It's easy when your husband is a good husband, a good father, he's doing his part, and submission is just the same way that you serve, you know, your family. And so you make sure that the clothes is clean, you make sure the house is clean, you do the dishes, you may even have work outside the house. So submission and obeying, although they are words, those things are happening. They're happening by everything that we do as women. So those words do not have any power at all. They only have power if you give them power.
So when I was younger, when I got married, I felt like I wanted to have sex all the time. And the guy that I served said, you know, in our church, in our house, like sex was like, you didn't do those type of things, right? So I was listening to T.D. Jake's wife today, and she says, I choose your will for our lives over mine. I choose your will for our lives over mine. What did that sound like?
It sounds like she's a very personally developed woman.
You know what? I can't even have a conversation with you. Bye. Go ahead. Take your call now. She gets over.
She is a very personally developed.
Day, right? Listen, I don't want to talk to you later no more. Bye.
Okay,
bye.
Bye.
Oh my goodness.
Listen,
Lord,
what they say, tell the truth and shame the devil. All women are not personally developed, so you're not going to get that same response. So the more we grow, the more we mature, we learn things. And as we learn, we know that, you know, we're really in control. So, you know, once you learn that you absolutely have control, and, you know, we're not going to, when your husband is doing what he's supposed to do, you're not going to deprive him of anything. You're going to be in a happy, committed relationship, and so you're going to share yourself and your world with him, and vice versa. Is when people aren't behaving the way that they should to make you happy, is when you say, he ain't paying the bills, I ain't thinking about him. If I got to go out here and work and do all this stuff, he ain't getting nothing. But if he's doing everything he's supposed to and maybe brings you some flowers every once in a while, then he'll get everything he's asking for. So it just depends on him. He really is in more control than he believes. I saw a post this morning on LinkedIn, and this man wrote, he said he showed a video of him dancing with his wife. And he said, when I decided to focus on my wife and my marriage, my life got better. And he showed them having a good time with each other, dancing in the living room. Something so simple. Your wife could have had a rough day, and then you walk in and you turn on some music and you say, come on, babe, let's dance. And she pops up and dances, and it just makes her happy. It's no reason why she wouldn't have sex with him. So it's all in, the man is the one we expect to lead. And so as long as you are leading in a good direction, you'll always have, a good marriage or a good relationship. So it really is on you, bro.
Thank you very much, Darlaina.
You're welcome.
All right,
you're welcome.
Segment. You go and
now. And so now we segue into Well-Being Wednesday. And, there's a lot of new people that are following us now. And so, although as much as, I call myself a health and well-being coach, because it's not just your physical body well-being, but it's also everything around you that affects you. That's your work, your home life, all of those things affect your well-being. So I talk about a lot of different things around well-being, especially things around the mind and taking care of your mind and the things that you do. So all of that is a part of it. But, this all started with talking about the body. And so today we're going to talk about the body. And what we're going to talk about today, get your good morning, Tiffany. Hey. What you want to do is get your pencil and paper ready, because this subject, although can be touchy, it will be very, very informative. So you want to be able to take good, copious notes. And we always say this is a weird subject to talk about, but it's very important for us to talk about. And the question is, what does your poop say about you and your health? Yep. What does your poop say about you and your health? And sometimes it can be a symptom of something bigger. And sometimes we ignore the signs that the body is trying to tell you, and it's asking for help. But sometimes we just don't pay attention to it. So when it comes to poop, there's no globally accepted standards of what's normal, since normal is different for every person. The frequency, the texture, the consistency, as well as the smell of it is normal to you. So how it regularly comes out. Also, in regards to how often is normal, it seems that we've adopted the belief that we should be doing it once a day, which could be the furthest thing from the truth. For some people, 3 times a day is normal. And for other people, 3 times a week is normal. As long as there's no digestive problems or complaints, that's all okay. Normal also means that you're not constipated or suffering from some form of diarrhea, since those 2 things are key signs that something is going wrong on the inside of you. So everybody's bowel movement is different, right? It depends on different factors such as genetics, dietary habits, proper hydration, medication used, and potential, ongoing health problems that you may have. All of that has something to do with it. So if you use some logic here for a second, sometimes you eat food that doesn't agree with you. And, sometimes you simply just don't drink enough water. And then sometimes you eat lots of vegetables rich in fiber. And sometimes you eat lots of cake, which is rich in nothing beneficial for your health, right? And sometimes you're under a lot of stress. And while sometimes you're very close to just being amazingly happy. So all of those factors change all the time. So it's completely normal that your stool changes from time to time too. So the question becomes, what exactly is poop? And so I know the question probably crossed your mind, but you really didn't want to ask it. And so human fecal matter or poop is basically the remains of the food that could not be digested or absorbed by the small intestines, but has been rotted down by the bacteria in the large intestines. So it contains mostly bacteria, small amounts of metabolic waste products. That being said, it's commonly mistaken that fecal matter is almost mostly just food that our body didn't digest, when actuality is 80% of it is just bacteria, straight bacteria. We all know where it comes from and what happens to it afterwards, so we're not going to talk about that part. Another interesting thing is that men and women poop completely different. And that is because women's colons hang a little bit lower than men's. So the fact that women are much more prone to bloating too. So it's way more challenging for them to make the passage of a stool. So it takes longer for it to come through their bodies. And these differences are so interesting and significant that the scientists say that they could perform a colonoscopy and determine a patient's gender just based on that, because of how women's bodies are different from men. Doctors around the world, they use something called this Bristol stool chart to classify different types of stool. And there are exactly 7 categories. And they basically tell us how long was the stool in your bowel before coming out. And so I'll tell you what those categories are. So there's seven categories. So category 1 is separated, hard lumps that are hard to pass, and they indicate constipation. Category 2 is sausage shaped but covered in lumps, and it also indicates constipation. Number 3 is almost sausage shaped but with cracks on the surface, and it's almost ideal. Category 4 is exactly like a sausage with smooth top and is also considered ideal. Category 5, soft blobs with clear edges that are passed easily, and along with that, it indicates diarrhea. Number 6 is fluffy pieces with weird edges, almost cereal-like stool. And 7 is watery without solid pieces, entirely liquid, which is diarrhea. So can you guess which category is the best? Is it best? If you guess category 4, 4 is exactly best. Exactly like a sausage with smooth top, and is very much ideal. And that just means it's very easy to pass. So yeah, so 4 is the most ideal. Falling right in the middle of the scale is the healthiest for digestion. Okay, and so going further away from the middle, there's some underlying issues that you might need to take a look at. So if your stool is hard or in the form of separated lumps, it indicates constipation. The reason for this is that the large intestines tries to remove the water from the stool while it's passing through the gut. And in cases of yes, you got it. If it's like a banana, then that's normal. You got it, Tiff. In cases of decreased water, the stool stays in the large intestines longer, which means more water is drawn out, making the stool harder. And so luckily, a hard stool is easy to avoid by intaking more fiber into your diet. Fibers kind of act like a sponge, and they're definitely going to help your stool preserve more water. So foods that are rich in fiber include fruit, veggies, legumes, and if that's not enough, you can always do supplemental solutions like psyllium. In severe cases of constipation, you may use some form of oral laxative to help the stool pass through the large intestines with ease. You know, another reason for constipation could be dehydration. Lack of liquids in the stool doesn't have to mean there's something wrong in the bowels. It could just simply be lack of water. And that's probably the case for a good amount of people, because people have a tendency to go through life in a state of dehydration because people don't drink water. They just straight do not drink water. You should be drinking, as a human being, 8 glasses of water, which is a gallon, 64 ounces of water per day. 64 ounces of water per day is what the minimum should be. But the technical amount is you should be drinking half your weight in ounces. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you should be drinking 75 ounces of water every single day. Do not miss a day. And when you don't, your stool will show that you're not. So lack of water could be the reason why, just not intaking enough, or intaking too much alcohol or vomiting. That takes away dehydration from the body too. So that could be. On the other hand, many people who suffer from diarrhea, and sometimes more often than they even realize, and that is when it's shapeless or completely liquid. And we've learned from the stool chart that that's how that looks. This diarrhea can be very unpleasant, especially if it's completely liquid, can lead to more dehydration and loss of nutrients. As with constipation, fiber plays an important role with diarrhea cases as well. Just like they can soften the hardened stool, they can also help harden the stool that is too soft when it lacks consistently. So all of that is happening. So if you are having diarrhea, you may need to change something in your diet. It could be from something that you just ate that day. So it may not be something that you got to go, too crazy about. So you just kind of got to gauge what has happened in the last 24, 48 hours. And it could be that. And if it's not that, then it should be examined. So not only is the shape something, but the color is something too. So we're all adults here, and I know that after you go, you turn around and you check it. Curiosity is completely normal. We all check it. So if your stool is any other color besides brown, or is more likely due to something that you ate, many foods can change the color of your stool. No, it's not, Nicole. Brown. But this can also be the result of medications or supplements. It's usually harmless, but in certain cases, the color changes can indicate something more serious. So if it's brown, our stool is usually light or dark brown, and that's because of the combination of the bile and bilirubin. It's mostly covered with mucus, which is completely normal as well, and actually a sign of healthy digestion. If it's white stools can often happen due to problems getting the bile into our gastrointestinal tract. If the liver is simply not making enough bile, or if the bile duct is blocked due to a tumor or a stone, bile is not going to be able to reach the intestines, and the stool will be white. The color is pretty common in people with liver disease, such as hepatitis or cirrhosis. Hey, coach. Additionally, certain medications will turn the stool white. If you've been on a new prescription therapy, ask your doctor if that's normal. If it is, you can ignore it while you're using that medication. But if it persists after you stop taking it, then you might want to ask your doctor again to check up on that. Black stool or almost black could be that color because of taking Pepto-Bismol. And that Pepto-Bismol changes the stool color to black. But in other cases, black stool can actually mean that there's some bleeding in the gastrointestinal tract. It's black because the blood changed the color while traveling through the digestive system, so it became digested as well. So a darker stool can happen also due to high levels of iron, because it can, it changes the color, or it could be a stomach ulcer. So if it's black, you want to kind of take a step back, figure out what's happening to determine if it's because of something serious, or if it's because you're using Pepto-Bismol. So you want to make sure you check. If it's blue, besides being the consequence of certain food coloring, it can be the consequence of something called Prussian blue color, which is treatment of radiation. It's a cesium or thallium poisoning that comes from cancer treatment. If it's yellow, if your poop is yellow and it floats in the water, it's probably because your body had a hard time digesting some fats. It can be a result of many things, such as if your gallbladder was removed, or if you're taking some weight loss medication. Yellow stool can also indicate celiac disease or even pancreatitis. So you want to kind of, know where you are. If you're taking something for weight loss, that's the reason. If you're not, then it could be these other problems, which are very serious. If your stool is green or happen to be tinted green, it's probably because of something you ate green recently. Since most of us eat quite a few leafy greens, this is not worrisome. The green color can also be a sign of infection. So if the stool is constantly colored, then it could be completely unrelated to the food that you ate. So you want to, just kind of have an idea of what you ate, what you didn't eat, and that will tell you if that's normal or not. If it's red, before you start panicking, just think about what you ate. The answer is something very red pigmented like beets or reddish berries. That's most likely the cause of the change of the color. If the answer is no, you're not sure, it could be a sign of blood in the stool. The blood can come from the intestines and definitely suggest a visit to your doctor. Red color can also suggest polyp or diverticulitis or any type of inflammation in the colon, or even colon cancer, worst case scenario. So those are all the colors, right? What about the smell? If there's anything more unpleasant than talking about the frequency and the color of the stool, that's the smell of it. The odor is made up of certain odor volatiles like methyl, sulfides, benzo, pyro volatiles. All of those are normal. No matter what color, stools will have some very unpleasant smell due to the bacteria in the colon. These bacteria are not bad per se. They actually just help to break down the food. But if the smell of your stool changes from bad to worse, this can be a sign of an infection, celiac disease, cystic fibrosis, pancreatitis, or just simply lactose intolerant. So all of those things can have an effect, as well as your diet can also affect. So, for example, combining protein with refined sugars and simple carbs, it is never a good idea. It's going to cause you a stomach ache, and simple carbs and refined sugars tend to be digested quickly, while the proteins take a little bit more time. Proteins just meaning meat. They'll be sitting in the gastric acids for a long time, and they have to rot in order for them to come out. So this is bad, both because the absorption of the amino acids from protein is going to be affected, which basically means you wasted a good protein, because the rotting process creates excess gas, and obviously stool made out of rotten food is going to smell way worse than usual. So you just want to kind of learn how to read your body, learn how to read your signs. Nicole, you are so funny. She's sending me all kinds of emojis. So, you want to learn how to read the signs. So why do we even care about this? Why is this so important, inspecting your stool? It's really not a waste of your time. It really is important, because certain conditions like irritable bowel syndrome, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease can all be revealed through your stool. For example, diarrhea and constipation, or alternating between those two, as well as stomach and abdominal pain and excess gas, are the first sign of irritable bowel syndrome. Crohn's disease, on the other hand, involves constant chronic diarrhea, followed by weight loss, fever, abdominal pain. Ulcerative colitis is also similar to Crohn's disease, and the key factor to recognizing it is chronic diarrhea that oftentimes becomes bloody as well. So they're all visible signs. So we definitely want to, pay attention to what is happening with our body. And there's a bunch of information available on the microscopic level when it comes to your stool. And this is where you need some help from a professional like, your doctor. So this is the exact reason why for a lot of exams, you're required to bring a stool sample. Is not just to make you uncomfortable. It really is to examine it and to know what's happening with it. The bacteria that's in the stool can be analyzed in a laboratory, and it's been proven that the range of bacteria in your gut have implications of different types of health conditions. And so it's so important. So the bacteria that's found in your gut, they play a role in regulating your immune system, as well as development of certain diseases. So we want to see all of that. Sometimes we might even be able to spot food remnants in your feces, most often including seeds, corns, nut, beans. This happens because they're high in fiber, and you need a lot more time to digest them. And sometimes, it takes longer. So things like tomato and watermelon seeds, for example, they don't get digested at all, which is why they leave your body the same way they went in. This is so fun. Are you guys uncomfortable? I hope you're not uncomfortable, because this is all natural.
Ever.
So nobody wants to spend too much time inspecting their number 2. So let's just break it down to the 5 most important things you should be looking for. Okay. 1, blood in your stool. Even a small amount of blood in your poop on a regular basis is troubling and worrisome. It can be a sign of many different things, such as anal fissures or hemorrhoids, polyps or inflammatory bowel disease, and in worst case scenario, even cancer. So that's the first thing, blood in your stool. Number 2, change in consistency. Diarrhea is completely normal from time to time, even in healthy people. But if you used to have solid bowel movements and now you're having frequent diarrhea, that could be a sign of some sort of abnormality like Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, especially if it's followed by bleeding or weight loss. So you want to pay attention of change in consistency. Number 3, chronic diarrhea. Chronic diarrhea. This can be normal as a sign of food intolerance. On the other hand, it can also be a sign of ulcerative colitis again, or colon disorders, as well as irritable bowel syndrome. Okay, so be mindful of chronic diarrhea. Number 4, color change. As previously explained, the color is very telling, and different colors suggest different things, and we, if you want to, know, red could be just something you ate, or it could mean blood. Green could be something you ate. Green. We all eat our green leafy vegetables. We all trying to be healthy, so we're all doing that. Brown is completely normal. If it's white, that could mean that something's happening with the bile is not getting through to your system, so you want to pay attention to that. Constipation is more than likely for most people due to not drinking enough water, but it could also be a side effect of medication, and it also could mean irritable bowel syndrome as well. And so those are the 5 things that you want to look out for. But there's some things you can do to improve the quality of your bowel movements. Our body is really great in showing us on the outside if there's any problems on the inside. So first and foremost, if you have chronic issues with your stool, you should be checked out by a doctor. Most issues can be worked out, pretty quickly, either by lifestyle change or medication or both. Some could be more serious, such as IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, a chronic condition that requires, very much long-term care. But try, when you are having problems, whatever kind of problem, try eating a lot of unprocessed foods. That means vegetables and, because they're rich in fiber. Avoid artificial sweeteners, period. No Truvia, no what's out there now? No Splenda, no None of that stuff. All of that stuff is terrible. It is processed. It is full of maltodextrin. You do not need any of it. If you are somebody who is suffering from diabetes and is looking for a sugar replacement, you can use stevia in the raw, not the packaged stuff, actual stevia. Go to your health food store and get stevia. Stevia comes in a powder or a liquid, and you can use that in your food and in your drinks, because stevia is not sugar. It is a plant that is sweet. So it is not sugar, but it will sweeten your stuff if you need it. Anything, hold on. Anything else? No, it's not good for you. So don't do that. Avoid excessive caffeine. It's a fact that caffeine will affect the frequency of your bowel movements. Help your intestinal flora by eating fermented foods such as pickles and kefir and sauerkraut. All of those are good. If that doesn't help and you can't get enough from your diet, consider taking a probiotic supplement. Drink plenty of water. There's no such thing as too much water. If you're on a certain medication, ask your provider, your doctor, if they can affect your stool or not. Add exercise to your daily routine. You should be doing that anyway. Try minimizing your stress by including yoga, meditation, exercising. As you can see, there's a lot that you can do to help yourself and your bowel movements by simply implementing these lifestyle changes, right? We should absolutely pay more attention to your stool, just like we pay attention to our weight or blood pressure. It's the same. It can help you to prevent so many problems by paying attention. The good news is that almost everything can be fixed if we react to it right on time. So keep this in mind. The next time you think something might be wrong, obviously your poop is more important than you thought. So the next time you're doing the number 2, make sure you take a closer look before you send all that information down the drain. Oh my goodness. Poop. We must pay attention to it. It is so important that we pay attention to it. Let's see what time it is. Oh, I got time for questions. Are there any questions from my watchers?
I got one right now.
What's your question?
I'm serious. I am so serious about this. Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
So I changed my diet, right?
Yes, you did.
I'm doing this keto thing.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since I've been doing this keto thing, it seems like it is like when I go to bathroom, like I'm like, for real, like I'm sitting there and it's taking a long, long time. It hurt. It like really, really hurts.
So you need to drink more water, and probably you need to add some psyllium to your diet, a psyllium supplement. Like Metamucil, psyllium. You can buy psyllium by itself, and just add psyllium to your diet. That should soften it for you, as well as drinking water. Sometimes when it's really, really hard, is because you're not taking enough water. What's your water intake like?
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Most people don't drink water, and water is really it. Water is really it. You have to drink at least your 8-ounce glasses, and that just means 4 bottles of water a day. If you're drinking bottled water, 4 bottles of water.
Listen to me.
I'm listening.
So in the event that it does, it really, really, really hurts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean like I'm straining the muscle and that where the blood would be in my stool?
Yes, that could happen, because what happens when you strain, sometimes you will call what they call anal fissure. It causes a little cut or a little tear, and that's what causes the bleeding from the straining. So try drinking the water. Adding some fresh fruit in it would be great. But 4 bottles of water is your thing. Or getting one of those gallon things that says start at 7 and finish at 8. Like getting one of them sometimes will help you. Or using this thing this smartwatch. Setting your alarm to drink water at certain intervals throughout the day will help you to get the water intake that you need. We pay all these money for these smart watches, smartphones. Use them and set the thing, because sometimes it's not that you don't want to drink water, you just forget to drink water. And so when you forget to drink the water, that's how you end up being more constipated than normal. So absolutely start with water. And then if that doesn't work, then we examine what else you might need, whether that's psyllium, whether that is adding MCT or probiotics or whatever. There's quite a few things that you can add to your diet that will help with that. So yeah.
All right, David, it's your turn.
David got his hand up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just great information. Truly, I definitely believe in that water since I've been on a challenge.
Yeah.
It has definitely made a difference. But I was gonna definitely ask. You said stevia raw would be a good sweetener.
Yes. So stevia is a plant.
Okay.
And so they sell stevia in the raw as a brand, but I'm not talking about the brand, because the stevia in the raw in the brand, they have it in packaging, right? And that packaging, in order for them to process it and get it in their package, they add something called maltodextrin in it, and that's really bad for your liver. So you don't want it if it has that. So you want to go to Whole Foods has it. I believe Sprouts carries it. I want to say what other store? In any health food store, you can go and ask for stevia, and they will give it to you in the powder form with nothing else in it, or they can give it to you in the liquid form with nothing else in it. So you want to just get stevia, period, nothing else added to it.
Okay, and I just have one more question.
Sure.
About the gut, what would be like natural? I know you said like vegetables. Is there anything else that you would recommend that would help us? Like,
taking a probiotic is good to keep your gut healthy. You'll see them in the stores all the time. Probiotic, a billion, and all that. Taking that probiotic is really helpful. It keeps the flora in the stomach good. It keeps the bacteria in the stomach good. Also, eating things like fermented things like pickle, kefir, sauerkraut, all of those are really good for your stomach. Also.
Okay. I had a pickle a day. I appreciate you.
Have a pickle a day. Keeps the doctor away. You're so welcome. You're so welcome.
Yeah, pickle.
Mm-hmm. Pickles are fermented, so they're good for the bacteria in your stomach.
Really?
Yep. Our forefathers was pickling everything. They pickle beets, pickle artichokes, they pickle pickles, they pickle a lot of things, and it was so good for for us. We didn't eat a lot of meat and all that kind of stuff. We ate vegetables because the meat was for the rich people. So meat wasn't for us. Meat was for the rich people, and if you wasn't rich, then you didn't eat meat. You only had vegetables. It wasn't until people started getting money that you were able to, get yourself a cow or a pig or whatever. You ain't get that, or in slavery times they got the scraps of the pig. That's why we learned how to make chitlins and hog maws from pig stomachs and pig feet and pig ears and pig tails. We ate all that stuff because it was what master threw out, and we just learned how to make it taste good. Now it's a delicacy for most. But yeah, that's why as people started to eat more meat, those people got sicker than the people who was just eating fruits and vegetables. It's a whole story about all of that and how that all came about. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's up, Big D?
Talk to us. Tell something good. What's your question?
Great morning.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Darlaina Rose.
Yes, sir.
You probably got my text already, but
yes.
my son's girlfriend was sitting in there. I didn't even know she was listening to you, and she's dealing with some issues. And one of the issues is something that you mentioned.
Okay.
And she's gonna be calling you later on.
Okay.
I mean, you know, see, you never know. You never know who's listening. I mean, I got my office door. I got the war room door open, and I got you on. You know, it's loud.
Got me on surround sound.
Oh yeah, you be on surround sound, baby. You know. And
I love it.
Listen, we always promoting. You know, always be promoting.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
But she was sitting there, and I asked her, you know, because my son called me. He said, you downstairs? I said, yeah. He said, Jessica's coming by. Can you open the door and let her in? I said, sure. She said, and she gonna be running. so she was just sitting on the bed. And I asked her, I said, you okay? She said, yeah. She said, I'm actually listening to whatever it is you're listening to.
Wow.
She said, because she hit me. She said that young lady hit me right on the head, you know.
Wow.
I said, well, I'm gonna put you in touch with her.
Absolutely. I'd love to talk to her. No problem. No problem at all. You're amazing, D. You keep me right. I appreciate you. LCA, the whole family. You know, you guys are always reaching out, and so I appreciate that. This is the work of my heart. This is not anything that I don't want to do. So getting your calls and your texts and all of that is important to the work that God gave me to do. I have surrendered to it. So it is okay. So you are supposed to call, you are supposed to check, you're supposed to, you know, use me in the way that God has put me here to be used. So don't feel any way, just by all means reach out. DM, email, phone call, however.
You know, kept Miss Tommy to my, where's your walk?
Yes. Drink
that water, bro.
Drink your water. Drink.
I have bottles and bottles of water right under my desk.
Absolutely. It's important, you know, and it's easy to forget because you get moving through life and you get thirsty, and the first thing you do is grab a soda or something like that. And when you grab that just dehydrates you even more. That doesn't give you any nutrients. It gives you empty calories. It does nothing for you. It may give you a sugar rush and then a whole big crash. And so it's better just to drink your water when you feel, by the time you feel thirsty, you're already dehydrated.
That's right.
By the time you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated. So if you just make yourself a reminder on your smartphone, your Fitbit, your Apple Watch, whatever, to remind yourself to, like, every 2 hours, drink 8 ounces of water. Or if you don't like to drink 8 ounces at once, then maybe drink 4 ounces on the hour, you know, whatever it is, you know, and not so many caffeinated drinks throughout the day. You know, if you're drinking tea, try decaffeinated tea, you know, coffee, healthy coffee. I like healthy coffee. Like, it's certain brands that I like that are healthy, that I even drink in the morning. So, you know, you just have to find the best versions of whatever it is that you are drinking or even eating, you know, the best versions, the healthiest versions, and your body will thank you. Your body will thank you later.
You're so right about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I haven't had a soda since April of 2017.
Yeah.
Damn.
I haven't had a soda.
Miss it.
Nope, I haven't had soda since 2006.
Wow.
Since I recovered from heart disease, I have not had soda since. Wow. And I don't miss it. Not even a little bit.
I don't miss it at all.
There's so many things. Like right now, I have in my cup, I have hot water with ginger root that I boiled. And I added some fresh strawberries to it. So it's like strawberry ginger tea, and it's really, really good. And it's all fresh. There's nothing dried in it. I cut up the strawberries. I cut up the ginger. I boiled them, and I have strawberry ginger tea. We have access to do so many things. We don't have to have all this processed stuff. We can create whatever it is by whatever we have in our house. You know, I remember one time Dr. Loretta said, "What do you have in your house?" You know, and so we find what we have in our house and we use what we have in our house, and it's healthier anyway. Way healthier.
So I'm gonna text Mr. Motivator during the day, man. Drink that water.
Yes, text him. Yeah, because that's probably 90% of the problem. It's probably 90% of the problem.
You're not the only one that said that. Everybody keeps telling, like Craig said it to me too. He said, "You gotta drink your water.
Gotta stay irrigated, brother."
Yes, absolutely.
What happens? What happens if the ground? What happens if the ground and the grass don't get water?
It gets dried out. Yes, sir.
Big time. Big time. So one of my favorite coffee brands is Sharoma Coffee from Healthy Place Botanicals. It is a CBD based coffee. It has CBD, has all these other healthy botanical things in it. It's really good. It also has something in it for weight loss. I'm not exactly sure what it is. One lady I know who drank 2 cups a day lost like 70 pounds in 4 months, but I'm not drinking it to lose weight. It absolutely tastes delicious, and I drink that in the morning and sometimes in the evening because it gives me a nice little, it is caffeinated, so it gives me like a little bit of a boost when I want to stay up a little bit longer. So I drink that. That's the one that I like specifically. And so if anybody, Velma, I'll send you how to get that. It's an online store where you can get it from. Yep. Okay, I'll post it in the LCA thing for you guys to get. I actually posted some stuff in there this morning that you guys were waiting for. I posted that directly in there. I was working on a way to send it to your email directly, but it seems as if that part of my website is not working right now. So I'm just going to post the stuff in the LCA room, and then you'll be able to go get whatever it is from there. So I'll post it in LCA, and you'll be able to get it there. Sound good?
Sounds excellent. So, ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, let's thank Miss Darlaina Rose.
Thank you very much, D. Rose.
So welcome. Right? So welcome.
And Darlaina, how do they get in touch with you?
You can call me at area code 267-521-2001. Or you can email me at info@Darlaina, my name, DARLA. I like Isaac, N like Nancy, A, and then rose like the flower.com, info@darlainarose.com. So either of them, or if you're on any of my social platforms, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere, you can always send me a DM. And Facebook Messenger too. I get a lot of inboxes there too. So wherever you are, you can do it from there.
Awesome. Number 2 is, guys, LCA, Life Changing Alliances, is on Facebook. And you can go ahead and get that link and go on there and get some of the information. A lot of times, Darlaina will leave she always got her paperwork.
I do, right? Lots of paperwork. My website is my name. Somebody's asking for my website. My website is my name, DarlainaRose.com. My name.
Guys, you probably just go ahead and we put it on that website for you to just go ahead and have it. Mm-hmm. Get it. Yeah. Those are her ways of showing her how much you appreciate her, right? Mm-hmm. I like them glasses, Mr. Desmond. Look at all studious over there.
He is a student.
And at the end of the day, get the information right from her. Also, if you want to send her any, what we call it, donation or anything like this.
Yes, coconut water is okay to drink. Yes, we take offerings. Somebody pass the plate. Let the church say amen.
Amen. Let me share something with you guys real fast, and I'm gonna just go ahead and go. The reason why I opened up this gate, I don't actually pay these guys or anything. They come in this room and they do these things. And like Darlaina, the information you do receive from her is legitimate information, right? And a lot of people, you want to give, and you don't even know where to give. So these are. So that's good soil. That's what we say, give it on. At the end of the day, you may not be able to. At the end of the day, right?
Yes.
So whatever you can, her thing is DR Healer.
Mm-hmm.
That's her. Put a $sign before that.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to send it to her cash app. Bless her. Show her how much you appreciate. That keeps them coming back. I can't give you money all the time, but send her a text.
It's
just
all
say
good.
Thank you.
Yes, I take text messages as well. You know, sometimes, you know, when you're doing this work and you're sitting up late at night and you're putting together stuff, you know, for whatever it is that we're doing. You know, we those of us who present here, we definitely put the work in, you know, and I'm certified in a bunch of things. You know, I'm a motion code practitioner. I do a whole bunch of things that, you know, so that I can show up, you know, with the appropriate information, that everything that I tell you is Googleable or Jamileable. Jamal used to like, I don't know about that. Let me check. And then he said, yeah, that's true. That's right. That's right. So
all day, right?
all day checking that. So you can definitely, you know, do your own due diligence on the things that I've shared, but you'll find that they are very factful. So with that being said, I thank you so much, Mr. Satchel, for this platform to be able to share with people just like me who may or may not have this information and may not want to ask a doctor. You know, this is the place where you can begin to get your answers. And then, you know, once you hear that something is deemed that you should go see about it, then you should go see about it for sure.
Yeah. And the other thing too is, guys, and I can't tell you how many times I've been at the pharmacist and actually called Darlaina, look, help me. I don't know, like, it's going to save you a ton of money, guys. I'm just saying, sometimes, like I say, we say, but sometimes you just need someone you can actually, when it comes down to your health and well-being, you want to make sure you got her in your back pocket, right? Yes. So with that being said, I love you. Love you all. Hopefully you are all taking control over your life. Yes. And because if you don't, the doctors will.
And we don't ain't nobody got time for that.
We ain't got no
Anybody got time for that.
Yes. So go ahead and do it. We love you. Have a great day on purpose.
Thank
LCA
you.
or
live. Bye, you guys. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you so very much. Datoya. Hey, Datoya. I'm finishing up now, girl. You're going to have to call me. Are you home yet? Are you home? Definitely give me a call. My number's still the same, or vice versa. I love you, girl. I'm ending my thing right now.